So, you're an older man. Maybe you're in your 40s, 50s, or even 60s. You've seen world, built a life, maybe even served a few heartbreaks. And then along comes this young woman. Vibrant, full off life. A little wild, a little mysterious. And for some reason, she gives Yao attention. Not just polite small talk, but real attention. And suddenly, whether you admit it or not, you start feeling alive in a way Joe haven't in a while. It's flattering, sexing, and it's exactly where Mossmen start. It's making mistakes they didn't even realize they're making. You see, there's something very specific that themes when an older man is drawn to a woman. He forgets that he's already complete. He forgets that all we age doesn't equal her. The years, the battles, the lessons, those are his power. But in that rush of dopamine, head starts adjusting, starts softening his edges, shrinking him spet down, trying to fit into her world instead, off standing solid in his own dot. And thoughts when the dynamic flips. She stops seeing a man and starts seeing a guy trying to impress, trying to be cool, trying to win her. And just like that, the attraction disperses. This video isn't about judgment. It's about clarity. It's about helping you keep your dignity, your masculinity, and your self-respect intact in the face of temptation, admiration, or a Venweenie connection. We're going to tell Kabut Wit not to Dowin you're in the represents of a younger woman and how a stoic man, a man in full possession of himself, would approach his high entire situation differently. These is arranges, dating tips, their life strategies, do so. If you're tired, off-bung, confused, manipulated, or thrown off course by Simone, who hasn't even lived half your life yet, this is going to be a wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Stick around because by the end of this, you're going to see exactly where men fall and how you can rise by doing less, not more. One, don't treat to be her age. You're another peer. One of the Moscow mistakes older men make when engaging with younger women is trying to rank themselves down to her world. Trying tat talk like her confidence versus desperation like her. Pretend they get her pop culture references. It usually starts from a good place. A two CTO connect to relate, but what actually happens is the complete opposite. You lose the very thing that made you eye-wearing in the first place. Once you try to act like her peer, she stops seeing you as the grounded, composed, experienced man and starts seeing you as someone trying too hard. And no matter how subtly you do, she can feel it. Women, especially younger ones, have a sixth sense for authenticity. When an older man tries to be mimicking her lifestyle, it feels off. Not because of the age gap, but because of the insecure to tunder. The reality is, your age is not your savage. It's your edge. You've lived. You've reascended. Gain, carry something. Shadows have an understand, yet presence. A deep punch cable presence that only comes from timing. The trenches of life, that's what draws her in K, not your ability. Autonomy zone, trending TikTok dance, or quit her favorite Netflix show but to fawn oldermen. Feel they have to keep up, when in fact the most attractive thing you can do is slow down, be still, be solid leather, run her youthful around you, while yo stand firm in your center. Let Meg view a real-world example. Imagine you're on a date. Anne mentions how obsessed she is with some 23-year-old influencer. You could pretend you know who that is, laugh along, maybe even pull out your fine fake scroll like you follow them too. Or you could simply smile and say, I don't follow that stuff. I'm more into conversations that don't as apper in 2-4 hours. That one trap of F compensions. That's strength, that's difference, that's mystery. And that's sexically what catches hair off guard in best way possible. Not because you are trying to her butt back as reminding her you're a note. That is paradox. It's the moment you stop trying to be relatable. Oh, come on, my tiktuo. Don't become her emotional sponge in their trap. Older men fall into becoming the emotional spong for a anger woman absorbing aller, chaos, confusion, and childhood wounds in enema. Being there for her, it starts innately enough. She pawns up a past maybe her ex treated badly. Maybe her parents were never around me, is working on herself and Becca's. You're older and emotional mature. You listen. You want to help? You feel like maybe, just maybe, she'll see something on you. She can find in boys her age. But slowly you find herself being her therapist. It's her emotional dumping ground. Her midnight phone call. When life feels overwhelming, deep down you think this is Beldinga connection. Think I'm Swan? How understands her. She cues me. But see truth. That's no manic bonding, it's emotional outsourcing. Women, especially younger owns, willing anxiously gravitate toward older men for a sense of stability. Boutique, you confuse emotional caretaking with attraction. You'll get stuck in the most frustrating position possible. So zone dressed up as intimacy. So you'll hear about her bad decisions, her convincing dates, her mental health spirals, but none of it will lead to respect or desire. Why? Because a stoic man doesn't tendo himself in drama to feel needed. He provides calm by simply buying cam, listens without rescuing. He offers him sight without investment. There's a difference between beyond emotionally, mobile, and emotionally absorbent ungrounded. The other is needy. Dress it up as nice. Imagine shoe crying above their latest situationship and instead off diving into fix-it mode. You just safe hit sounds like a lot. I hope you give it yourself space to figure it out. A tone line. It signals stat to a present bot not caught. Sheffield's didn't try to impress her Sean, but notable to latch on and pull you into her emotional storm. That's stoicism in practice. It's not about buying cold. It's about knowing difference between offering presents and sacrificing your peace. A man who's mastered his emotions doesn't let Simon's turbulence pull them off course, no matter how pretty the storm looks. 3. Never chase her validation. There's a subtle but deadly mistake that older men make when dealing with younger women. And that's chasing validation. It doesn't always look desperate, okay? Then sometimes it hides behind compliments, over-explaining yourself, trying to provoke at her, or subtly seeking your assurance that she still likes you. But energy underneath it is always same. Do you approve of me? And the moment she senses that energetic is ruined, Becca's no materialage, status, or experience. I'm sure abiding around her opinion a few. You've given her Thewar. You've made her judge the price, the one with felavarage and women. Especially younger roans are hypersensitive to you semblance. It's instinctive. They're not always conscious of it, but they can feel a man's subtle bending for their approval instead of off-standing rooted in his own worth. A stoic man does not beg for attention. He does need to beck instantly seen, acknowledged, or praised to feel centered. His sense of value is not up for debate. She's interested, great. If not, also great. He moves forward. Either way, that level of emotional self-sufficiency is magnetic, because while other men are dancing like court gestures, trying to get a smile or a heart emoji, he's simply being the Reddit. And that unbothered energy isn't cold, it's rare. And rarity is powerful. Let's say she leaves your massage on WAD. Almond chasing validation. Might double text drop a meme or say something passive-aggressive like "Cess, you're abusey," lol, but a grounded man, he doesn't change. It's not playing games, but he's also not playing catch because he's not waiting to be chosen. Hell ready chose himself. And that's what makes Jerez respect yourself first. Stop, scroll back, and wonder why you're not reacting the way every other man does when you stop chasing hairy action. You become the one worth reacting to. For don't try toypress. Lead instead. There's a huge difference between impressing a woman and leading her. And most men, especially older, trying towing over a younger wound, get caught in the trap of the first. They start listing off accomplishment like RSMK, they drop casual mentions, offer dot, they drive the places they've at. the money they've made or thinking actions they have. And while some off that might be impressive on paper, it rarely has the effect. You think it will back us? Women don't fall for your words. They fall for the way you move. Impressing comes from a place of lack. It says, look at me. Please approve of H butt leading. Leading says hair. Swear I'm going. You're welcome to join if I talons with you seeks approval. Titha offers direction. The more you treat to prove your value, the more you revel that you don't fully believe in it. That's the paradox. S. A Stoic man leads by example, no taxation. He doesn't need to broadcast this worth. It just shows up in the way. Crease. Himself. She doesn't need a PowerPoint off your achievements. She needs to feel your certainty, your clarity, your grounded presence. That alone cried as gravity. A younger woman especially, once still figuring out her own path, doesn't want to be dazzled. She wants to feel an enly. A man who trusts his own path can give her that picture of thieves. You're out to dinner with her, instead of off-doing to impress her with stories off success or subtly name-dropping. Who yak know you order the meal with confidence, make eye contact with waiter, and lead the conversation with. Rushing or golf, you ask helpful questions not to impress her bot. Becca's you're genuinely curious about how her mind works. That's leadership. That's presence, and that's what sticks in her memory. What young? Women actually respect when and the night is over. Not how mock you matter last year, but how solid felt in your energy. Impressing is a bother leading us about you. And when you lead, she naturally follows. Not Picasso asked her toe, but Beck cause. She wants to. 5. Don project long-term fantasies early. On off the mass dangerous things an older man can do, and dealing with a younger woman is to project the future onto her before. There's even a foundation. Y'all go on a few dates, have some deep conversations. Maybe there's chemistry. Maybe even have an intimacy, and suddenly in your mind, she's the one. You start imagining what life would be like if she moved in. It's how your friends would react. What kind of occasions you'd talk at her through life. It's how you'd guide her through life and help her grow. Etha pans fast, too fast, and it use you a lessons from a quatliness, a desire for significance, or the hope that this woman will somehow complete you or give your life a new sense. Off meaning, but what you're really doing is building a fantasy out of thin air. You're not relating to her as she is. You're reiterating to the version of her you've recreated in your head. Stoic teaches us to stay grounded in reality, not in wishful thinking or romantic. When you project long-term fantasto, a person who's barely stepped into our life, you stop seeing clearly. You re-occurred flags. You ignore incompetence. You start investing emotional energy into astery, not aerial danger. Wench doesn't match that story. You don't just feel disappointed. Did you feel betrayed? But the betrayal wasn't hers. It was your own projection. A Stoic man learns to enjoy what's real, what's present, and what's proven, not what's imagined. Let's say you've been talking to her for 3 weeks, and she's sweet, spontaneous, says all the right things. You catch yourself wondering what she'd like as a mom or how she'd look walking side. Yo, at family events, stop, pull back, remind yourself that you know is the highlight reel. Stoic, not commitbos. It's easy to fall in love with potential, but connection takes time, consistency, and clarity. A man rooted in himself was rushed to the ending before it's Evan Reed's first few chapters. He stays present, detached, and observant, because as how you see people for who they are. The energy of Stoic masculinity, aeronaut, who you opithou become. 6. Don't be her backkluplan or emotional filler. One of the most painful positions an older man can find himself in with a younger woman is becoming her backup plan. The safe, stable option she keeps in her back pocket while she chases emotionally guerre. At first, it might not be obvious. Should you. When she's bored calls when her scratches or makes you feel like you're her safe space, and because you're older, more patient, more understanding. Ineffectual, thinking maybe she's just knit Retino, but she'll come around. But that set is a slow poison because what's really happening. You're being Usida's Aplis holder. You're her emotional filler. Someone hoaxes her the validation and support is not getting from the men she truly wants to pursue. And the moment they come back around, you're pushed tough side again. A stoic man does into cap health anterist. He doesn't cling to someone yo home. He reaches for him when needs convenient. He recognizes when the Namki lopsided and calmly exits. There's no drama, no emotional breakdown, just a quick, powerful decision that says, FM, not your priority. I'm not your option. And that walking away from bonked kapop. It's what restores your power because the moment you agree to be this support system for someone who has notion of building something real with you. You surrender yourself. You start shrinking yours down just to stay in her orbit even though the center of her attention is always elsewhere. Think off this sex symbol. She cancels plans with you but still wants to FaceTime late at night just to talk or vance about other guys. Then says things like, I don't know why I always feel better after talking to you. That's not affection. It's utility. I feel you're not the one she's sexcited about. You're the one who makes feel emotionally fed when everything goes ass falling apart. And as flattering as that might feel, enthrallment, it's a dead end. The stoic Monday's orbit around Sumi Anil shows. He builds a life that's full no, rich enough and solid in all that. He doesn't need to chosen. Heslakusas what aligns with hisps. Anything less, he walks awayly, fully and never looks back. 7. Never lose your mission for her. There is nothing more self-destructive or Iman, especially an older one, than losing sight of his mission for theater affection off a woman. And when that woman is younger, vibrant, unpredictable, and full of emotional intensity, it becomes dangerously easy to drift off course. Final advice that changes the game. You start skipping the gym because wants to stay in bed. You delay a meeting. Beckos, she had a romorny and just needs you. You stop writing, building, leading a lin, the name off venge available. And little by little, without even realizing, your life starts orbiting hers. Your goals take a backseat. Your structure softens. Your edge dulls. And the very thing that animates you attractive, your direction, your purpose disappears. A stoic man understands that his mission is not negotiable. It's not something he has to decide to make it work. It's the foundation of his life. Without it, he becomes an anchored, vulnerable to Themis wings of whoever holds his attention that week. Women are drawn to men who are going somewhere who are already building something with or without them. And when you abandon that path to chase emotional connection, you don't gain love. Few lose respect, especially from her base. Even if she doesn't say it out loud, she feels it when a man starts placing her above his path. She stops seeing you as a leader and starts seeing you as another man who is willing to think of the difference between man who saw, I can't talk right now, outro, in reflection. I'm deep in a reject for Susie one who instantly picks up. Every call cancels plans and rearrange. Everything to be present. Thy first manus living on purpose. Ty scanned ice living on. Approval and check and feel the truth is if a woman newly cares a boudou. She wanted you to stay loyal to our mission. She admire your discipline even when it means less time with her. But if you give that up for her, you'll become more desirable. You be Kamanthor man. Hollist himself trying to something that can only be given freely. A stoic man remains unmoved by impair emotion when it ruminates regret. Toiks his path no matter hoax. Basidiheim, conclusion. So harass truth and Ewant. You to zot with it for a moment. Being an older man in the presence of a younger woman is sent at his advantage.